Yo, I appreciate you guys tuning into the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, as well as that notification bell. Stay up to date on our content. And check out Nurture Coffee on NappsandNurture.com. This is our signature flavor, Jamaican blueberry cobbler. Check out our coffee. Very good, rich flavor that's bold but not too bitter, velvety smooth, got a slight sweetness to it. It's an overall good, full flavored coffee. Check us out on NappsandNurture.com, www.nappsandnurture.com. So, I just got through watching Birds of Prey, and I didn't like this movie. I really enjoyed Suicide Squad, but for some odd reason, this movie, I just did not enjoy this. This was not, it wasn't horrible, but it was just kind of stupid. You know what I mean? Suicide Squad was crazy in itself, but at least it had some components that was just like, oh man, I can't wait to see what happens next, or what are they gonna do next. And with this one, towards the middle of it, I was just like, yeah, we can get this over with, you know. we can definitely get this over with. There was a lot of parts that I felt were just like, that I felt were really just stupid. The young girl, Cassandra, I think that was her name, Cassandra Cain, the girl of interest, she ended up stealing the diamond and swallowing it, and so they were having to track her down and protect her from the guys that was wanting to get the diamond back from her. And the movie was just dumb. She kept going around pickpocketing everybody, but she was doing it in the most obvious way, and nothing she did was subtle at all. Everything was so obvious. She was, if this was somebody's purse, she was just like and pulling, she would just reach in and then just pull out an item, be like, hey, I stole this from you, see you later, and then put it in her pocket and walk off. That was her pickpocketing. I'm just like, yo, what? It was so bad, yo. The movie wasn't like just completely horrible. Don't get me wrong, it was some funny parts, some things that I enjoyed. Margot, she's extremely, I love her acting. I love her method to acting, her approach. She's very open to trying pretty much anything and really pushing those boundaries and pushing those limits. So I'm very intrigued by her, just her skills and her methods in acting. This one, in my opinion, it just seemed like it was flat. It felt like a women's empowerment sort of movie, like a Charlie's Angels kind of a vibe. But it just seemed like it was just hack. It's like it was just such a terrible hack job at how they did it. They just made all the guys just seem like these idiots, foaming at the mouth idiots that just don't know up from down. It was ridiculous. A lot of the action sequences didn't really make sense. She walked into a police station with a beanbag gun, pretty much, and it would shoot like these, these high impact rounds, almost like a shotgun, or almost like a RPG, but it was like beanbags. And they had like fireworks and sparkles and confetti and all those different things. And she had to load each round one by one individually every time. You go into a police station with anything that resembles a weapon, I'm going to assume that you're going to run into some problems. I'm going to assume that you're going to run into some issues. So that was puzzling for me. None of the cops were really pulling out any weapons to engage her. That was like one, maybe two cops in the entire scene where they actually tried to engage her with a firearm, and they didn't, but they kept trying to do it from close quarters, It was one guy came down the steps and just randomly fired a shot. She blocked it, got into a little fight with him. None of the action sequences seemed believable. Like, the moves that they were doing didn't seem like they would be hurtful or painful in any way. It was a move where they would bring down their foot on top of like the person's neck, on the back of their neck. And it just like, I get it, that can hurt, but just a lot of stuff just didn't seem painful to me. The hammer that she had in one of the scenes, when she threw it, the way it hit the guy, it just looked like it was a soft material. The way it hit this guy's chest, or and it was just like, it was odd. They had Margot, they had the lady from Temptation, they had the detective lady, and the lady who called herself the Huntress. They had all four of these ladies together along with Cassandra Cain. And I don't know, I thought they were going to compose this group much earlier in a sense of working together. But they really didn't compose that sort of concept with them until like maybe 5 minutes till the end of the movie. And that's when they finally brought them all together and said, all right, we're going to work together. And it was done in such, it just felt like a parody, but like not a good one. Like it was just, everything that they had did was okay to do, but they just did it in a not okay way. A women's empowerment movie and showing women kicking butt and all that stuff, I have zero problems with. But it just seemed like they just did such a terrible job at it. It was just, a lot of scenes sometimes lasted longer than what they needed to. Action sequences not really making sense. I was really wanting that movie to just be over with after about a good 30-40 minutes of it. I was like, yeah, this can be over with and we'll be good. If I was to rate this movie, I'd give it a 5. I'd give it a 5. It has some cool moments, has some cool action sequences, kinda, but for the most part, it was just kind of silly. It was just too silly. And I get you're gonna have some silly moments, but it was just too silly. Every person in the movie was just really silly, really goofy, really hard to take serious. Yeah, it was rough. This is a movie that I probably wouldn't ever watch again. As much as I like Margot and her work and the character that she built and everything, not the character that she built, but just the way she portrays this character, something, and them taking a look at the backstory and things like that. It was cool. But no, I wouldn't have to watch this movie again. I'm gonna go through this film again and pick out little things that I was noticing, things that I'm talking about now, and just point out some things, maybe some things in the plot, just some things in the background, maybe somebody's outfits. That was a point where, like I said, like the action sequences didn't really make sense. There was a point where they were fighting like this gang of guys and nobody had a gun. Nobody had a weapon. Everybody kept walking up with like bats. Somebody had a pickaxe. It was just weird. Man. Everybody kept having these weird weapons, but nobody had a gun. They were fighting in like this circus looking thing, and I'm like, what is this? So on my What's That About segment, which will be coming up in a couple of days, check out our What's That About on this particular movie, Birds of Prey. And we'll just take a little deeper dive and just pick out some funny things that we see and some silly things we noticed, plot holes and things like that. Listen, I appreciate you guys dropping by. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. Peace.